So let's see. There we go. Okay. Oh, now we've got YouTube running as well. Fantastic. Yeah, so it was running on YouTube on the wrong kind of channel. So not the one I announced with the correct title, but now I think we got it. So, hello everyone. I hope you're all doing good. Thank you very much for joining. And welcome to Vienna. So I just need to get the chat windows on the right place and then we are good to go. Hello, hello, Mark, how are you doing? Right, I'm pretty sure there's not many people that are not feeling hot at the moment because it is crazy, crazy warm at the moment, isn't it? So, one more thing I want to do here is, for some reason, there was an update on Stream Deck, and it killed my scenes. So let me just find OBS Studio scene. There we go. Right, just one more thing, just give me a second and then I'll be ready. So, stick. So does that work? Yeah, that works, all right, that's fine then. The rest I will do in a minute. Cool, so welcome everyone. You're refreshing 32.4, yeah, I've got 31 outside and right now in my room I have 27.3, but rising because the windows are closed. So we shall see. Good. Today I am going to use something new, and that is the Airbus hardware add-ons from FlightSim. Hang on, what was it? FlightSim Studios? No, it was from just make sure I have the right name from the company there. So yeah, so from FlightSim Factory, that's it. Hey, so FlightSim Factory, the community here, they told me if you want to get some good Airbus kind of D10s and yeah, thrust levers, etc., you should go with the add-ons from FlightSim Factory. Now, hey Yorak and hey Geep, how you doing? Cloak on, hello Voyage, hello Eagle Motion, hello DK. In Berlin it's okay, really? Okay. So I ordered them and they were priced at like 79 euros plus shipping. And I was kind of skeptical when I heard that it is actually 3D printed. I don't know why, because maybe the stuff that I received up to now when it was 3D printed wasn't really good quality, so not really sturdy and not really, you know, something I would expect to be, you know, using it with a hardware setup like this one. However, I have to admit, I am actually positively surprised. Hey Christian, because one thing I really like is the fact that once you've calibrated the settings for the notches actually feel really good. It really clicks in, so it has little kind of pins on the side with the spring which then kind of lock into these detents, physical detents here, and it's not as if they're sticky or anything. They are kind of, you know, strong enough to make sure you hit the right notch. But if you then move the thrust levers further or back again, they actually move fairly smoothly. You don't have to use an awful lot of force, so that's really nice. The speed brake lever has small detents as well, which doesn't really, you know, simulate the correct Airbus, because in the real aircraft there is no detents for the speed brake lever. However, I think just for, you know, kind of tactile feedback, it's actually not bad having, you know, the detents knowing when you are quarter, half, 3/4, and full. That's actually not too bad. So yeah, so again, we'll be using that today. Really looking forward to it. Should make life a bit easier trying to get into the right notches there. Cool. So Flight Sim Factory, and I already heard that some people are interested. If you do decide to order a set, so I'm not sponsored by Flight Sim Factory, right? So I paid for these hardware add-ons here myself, and the person, really nice chap, actually, had a good chat with him. He said that he's got lots of orders right now, and so he's got a bit of a backlog, so it'll take about 3 weeks for shipping at the moment. Hey MCK, and I go to be, and Sapphire, hey. Yeah, so don't be alarmed if it takes a couple of weeks. That's just the backlog at the moment that they have. But still, you know, for that price, if you already own the honeycomb throttle quadrant, then this is, in my opinion, at least from what I've seen right now, the cheapest and the best quality setup to get, you know, a kind of nice thrust levers with flap lever. Actually, the flap lever has the spring-loaded function as well, where you have to push up the locking mechanism to get it into the next notch. So that's actually quite nice as well. So yeah, the detent mechanism is nice here as well from the flap lever. Yeah, so thank you for asking how I am. I'm doing very well, thank you much. I hope everyone else is doing fine. I can report back that the situation at the airports is getting better. Delays are getting a little bit better. Ground handling is a bit better. So yeah, it's all in all, it's getting a little bit more relaxed now, which is great. Actually had a couple of flights which were right on time. I think on one day we actually had 3 kind of bullseye on-block times, like right on schedule, which was something I've not had for months really. Hey Lee, wie geht's dir? Nice to see you too, Lee. Ich hoffe, genießt die Sommerferien. Let's load the aircraft and let's do this. Actually, hang on, let me do that first. AUC menu. Yeah, like I said, I'm doing well. I wish I had holidays, because I am flying a crazy amount of hours. So ever since I recovered from COVID, I've literally been flying non-stop. Just had, you know, 1 day's breaks. So many hours, absolutely crazy. Right, let's do this real time, 26 minutes. That's pretty much what we have. I think, yeah, 24 minutes to departure time. So that's fine. So ground services, fueling. So 6.4 is planned. That's good. No, so Brandon, no. So I'm dual streaming on Twitch and YouTube. And one thing I want to try, because I have switched. There we go. So for my moderators, if you wanna get the sound
Hello, Black Box.
to work, you have to do that on Twitch now, not on YouTube. Yeah, so just for the moderators there. Or anybody else that wants to...
Stabilizer motion.
There we go. Right, so flight 2, we're going to Sofia. We've not been to Sofia yet on stream, simply because there hasn't been any good sceneries. There is an add-on scenery now, payware for Microsoft Flight Sim. It's not bad. I just have one issue with it. I'll show that when we park the aircraft. But apart from that, it should be an interesting flight. 1 hour, 19 minutes. We've got Bucharest as our alternate. I think MCK will be very happy about that. He's going to probably keep fingers crossed that will divert, but we'll see. The weather right now, so 6.2 is planned takeoff fuel. The weather in Sofia is as follows. Hey, Kipman. YouTube not working. It should be. It should be working on YouTube. All right, so we got easterly winds, or southeasterly winds, which means 09 will most likely be in use at Sofia. We have a VATSIM event. Thank you, Eagle Motion. Yeah, thank you. So we should have easterly setup, and it says temporary thunderstorm rain, 5 kilometers. However, right now, scattered 7,700. All good for that. Tomorrow, some more thunderstorms, but we'll see. We've got Bucharest, Cabo K, 29 degrees, quite nice, and no big changes in the forecast. And Vienna, 27 right now, variable 2 knots, but I've already seen on the ATIS that they are using 29 for departure. Hey, Yoda, wie geht's dir? Yoda, are you back on working, or are you still on holiday? Like, how can you be on holiday right now? Who did you bribe to get on holiday? Winds pretty much crosswinds, nothing serious. And Borbonia, Borbonia, hello to you. Work, was this that? Get out of here. Too warm to work. Yeah, tell me about it. I actually feel really sorry for the baggage handlers. They are working on an apron which literally has, like, you know, 45 degrees, 40 to 45 degrees. It's just so hot on the tarmac.
Hello, Black Box.
Hey, there we go, Brennel. Wie geht's dir? Nice to see you. And Nuno, hey, how you doing? Nico, is there any possibility that you can show during the preparation work the crank mode on the engine start switch? Yeah, okay, so actually, you're actually posting a good question because I have prepared a little bit. Now let me get one more scene working here. Lol. What? Heh? Did not press that, did I? So, let me get rid of that. Put that there. iPad. So, where's my iPad scene? Where is that? It's gone. Where has that gone? All right, I need to make a new one then. Hold on. Duplicate. Okay. Is it window capture?
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box Twitch channel subscriber experience. Could new subscribers please make your way to the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks and premium flight entertainment will be served. Thank you.
Oh no. There we go. So that will be there in a minute. Christian, thanks so much for the Twitch tier 1. Thank you so much. 15 months. Well, I cancelled my Twitch partnership, but they never replied. So there's nothing else I can do. They don't communicate with me. I don't know what's wrong with them, or So yeah, it's a long story. So I've given up on that. So I just stream. No, really. Oh yeah, you told me that you got a cold. So how come you still have a cold? Yeah, so I hope it gets better soon, Brennelt. Yeah, gute Besserung. So there we go. Yeah, so I did prepare something a little bit for... What's happening now? There we go. So I did prepare something for the topic today. So for ignition system, starting, etc., etc. We're going to do some engine start faults today. So maybe that way, we can all learn a little bit more about the system. So I think what we'll do is we'll do a I don't know, hot start, hung start, or something in that region, and then we'll do a igniter failure, so that we have to do a manual engine start, and that way, yeah, I can explain a little bit more about the yeah, ignition start selection, the crank selection there, because we just got a question on that. Yeah, Clocon. No, so Christian, I'm officially, for me, I have my primary platform on YouTube, and I'm dual streaming, and as long as Twitch doesn't care, then it's all fine. Hey Magnus, I was going to say hello to you earlier as well.
Autopilot.
Magnus, thank you so much
Autopilot.
for the 55 Swedish krona. Thank you so much. And he writes, cheers from a DC controller at Gothenburg and Stockholm. And actually, I was in Gothenburg in real life not too long ago. So, yeah, nice place. We went for dinner at a Thai restaurant. It's a really crazy restaurant where inside they have the really funky tables and lighting, etc. So really cool, really good food there, and a lovely city, of course. Thank you again, Magnus. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm hoping to come back to Gothenburg on VATSIM soon. Yeah, good. So we've done everything in that regard. So weather, checks out. We're good with the weather. Flight plan currently already have the 6.4 tons. Currently boarding passengers. So let me start the APU. No, I did not actually. Does he live in Gothenburg? Okay. I didn't know he lived there. Right, so the rest looks all right up here. So let's go straight into the flight planning, and for that, actually, what I would like to do is get my clearance and 19.4, because I don't know which departure route we're going to expect. I know there's an ASEAN departure, but the last couple of times out of 2.9, yeah, so for the APU, it has a kind of a startup powering lag, if you like. So for the control unit, the APU fuel control unit, etc., to start up properly, there's like a 3 to 5 seconds delay on that. Christian, so it's look. The thing is this. So there's people that prefer YouTube, and they prefer to watch on YouTube, and then there's lots of people that prefer to watch on Twitch. I did get lots of questions if it would be possible to do the dual streaming, and so it took me a while, of course, to set everything up. But yeah, I'm trying to please as many people as possible. And a big thank you. Yeah, so Yurak, to power up the if you like the FADEC for the APU, so the APU control unit, etc., etc. That's the reason that I've been told. But we can get into that. I have some documents. I can get a little bit more detail into that if you like later on. So let me just go ahead and trying to find out which departure route we can expect. So yeah, sometimes you get the Leuven departure.
Canadian 90431 via intersection Alpha 3 line of runway 29.
Via intersection Alpha 3 line up runway 29. 90431.
Servus Wien Tower from Austrian 56 kilo request.
Austin 56 kilo, V Tower Servus, go ahead.
Yeah, when you find a time, would love to cover the clearance to Sofia, please.
Austin 56 kilo, stand by. Lot 78 Mike, contact me in radar on 134.675, bye-bye.
So let me program some stuff in here. Cost index.
Lot 78 Mike, contact me in radar on 134.675, bye-bye.
34, that's interesting.
Contact in radar 134.675, thank you and have a nice day.
Canadian 904
370 is cruising level.
Takeoff.
And we've got minus 50.
Clear for takeoff 29, run 29 and 90431.
Minus 50 degrees up there.
Boeing November 889.
We've got 27 degrees here in Vienna right now, and we are expecting 59.5. Zero fuel weight. And a 6.4 ton.
1.29er via Mike. November 9er Sofia.
Austin 56 kilo, now it's your turn. Information Juliet is now current. You're cleared to Sofia via Arsen, 1 Charlie departure of runway 29, English climb 5000, score 1504.
Okay. Austrian 56 kilo is cleared to Sofia, ASEAN 1 Charlie departure, runway 29, climb initially 5000, and please repeat the squawk unreadable.
Austin 56 kilo, squawk is 1504.
Squawk 1504, copy it, Austrian 56 kilo.
Austin 56 kilo, copied.
Right, so...
Canadian 90431, contact me in radar, 134.675, bye-bye.
134.675, Scandinavian 90431.
So he's a bit quiet, and the rest is quite loud again. So the alternate fuel is 1.3. James, I'm dual streaming, so you can watch me on YouTube or on Twitch, whatever you prefer. Yeah, so we do have a bit of extra fuel. However, the wind data. Now I'm just gonna put in an average wind for now. We can refine that later on. That's a headwind of 11 knots. Kind of strange going eastbound having a headwind. So headwind 11 knots. Departure 29, he said. ASEAN 1 Charlie departure. There it is. So that should close up to ASEAN. Then we've got Sofia arrival, runway 09, and that's mostly going to be the Zulu. Hey, Chris Scott, hello to you. How's it going? Doing very well. Thanks for asking. How are you? And we're coming via Nis. Hey, Kipman. So Nisva for Delta arrival, and that should bring us onto the final, and it does. So let's have a look at the approach there. Yeah, so we'll talk about this. This is the Arnav arrival. Now, obviously, if you get a direct, you've got to be aware that it's going to go a lot quicker, and you're going to have a lot less trek miles. So, oh yeah, we could talk about the updates 10.
Confirm your call sign as windmill.
I do confirm.
So,
Windmill
apparently there's some problems with the SU-10, isn't it? So we got the AB page, flight plan, RATNAV page for departure. So if we go to charts, let's have a look at the Arzin 1 Charlie. There it is. So it does take us up to 5,000 feet. Climb on 291 track to 1,000 feet, which is only 400 feet above the ground. Then we start the turn. We go to Whiskey Whiskey 296. Then we go to 375, 370, 405, and then to Arzin. So we can check that here as well. 30405 Arzin, all correct.
Golf and started with approved golf.
Yeah, MCK, I mean, everyone has their own kind of way of doing things. Personally, I don't really mess about. Well, it depends. So, of course, if I, like in Frankfurt right now, MCK, then I would agree with you. In Frankfurt, literally, every time you get...
16 Lima, we are fully ready for push and start.
You get a shortcut. So I would definitely, you know, cut out some of the arrival route in Frankfurt. Now, regarding Sofia, I don't know. It depends on today, how busy it is. So I'm not sure if I want to really cut out anything. There, I would probably just go with putting in the runway in the progress page. And then just, yeah, just do some, you know, some basic rule of thumb calculation and just go with that. So, done that. It's Arnav 1 required. So here we either need GNSS or DME. Alright. So that's all done. Let's do the performance calculations. Boarding should be completed, if I'm not completely mistaken. No, we're still missing a couple of passengers here. 25 passengers, that's weird. Yeah, it's fairly slow boarding. I mean, it's real time, so we still got a couple of minutes to go. That's fine. And what we can do though is take the preliminary data for our initial calculations. So we're expecting 65.6. 65.6. Right, so let's go departure preparations here. So 56.6 is fine. We've got runway 29 dry. We want optimum config. We don't want toga. Anti-ice is off. PEX should be on. And we'll go with 28 degrees, even though I don't really expect it to get any hotter. Who knows? 1015, worst case. And variable, I'll do that with 5 knots. And let's calculate that. Oh, and intersection. My bad. Because when we taxi out from our position here, we're going to be expecting, so we're on the northern part here. So I do expect a taxi at Whiskey exit to Alpha 3 then maybe would be a good intersection
Avian 01
to calculate.
101, taxi on the runway 29 via Mike. 60 via Mike.
So it's giving me a flap 2 departure.
November Lima Sierra behind, so departing with the 8.
Yeah, so the variable, Yurak, your answer lies here. So when you have variable, it takes in the worst case.
November 8.
So it will take 5 knots tailwind. And if you're unsure, have a look at this field here. Yeah. Transition, we'll check that in a minute. So let's look at the intersection takeoff data. So we set alpha... I've forgotten now. Was it alpha 4? I think it was. Yeah. No, alpha 3, sorry. Disregard. Alpha 3 it is. So alpha 3. There we go. All right. So cool. So 61 flex. We got 300 meters shift, and we'll enter that data then.
When will South Gulf Alpha? You are on the taxi outstand.
Let me just pull up my data here.
Austin 16 Lima fully ready for taxi.
Alpha 16 Lima taxi on front runway 29 via Whiskey and Mike.
So let's have a look. Okay, how come I don't have my Sim Toolkit Pro? Where is that?
Okay, taxiing to runway 29 holding point Alpha
There we
3
go.
via Whiskey and Mike, Austrian 16 Lima.
Avian 101.
There we go.
intersection Alpha
So
3.
we've got runway 29, NADP 2, 1600.
Austrian 2471, request startup and en route clearance to Munich.
And the engine out acceleration is 2100, that's correct.
Could you repeat that, please?
Kein Flugplan.
Are you...
Austrian 125, request taxi please table Alpha 3.
So this is the delivery I'm using.
Right, taxi on front runway 29
Yeah, Lufthansa Group livery, yeah, AFM.
Via Mike Alpha 3
I do
approved,
confirm.
Austrian 125.
Right, so
November
speeds
Lima Sierra.
boarding
Austrian
completed,
3,
43,
aircraft
43,
responding on my text
46.
messages, so you have to wait, I guess.
Copy that. Am I able to go down to Alpha 1?
Yeah, 10,000 transition is
yeah.
correct.
November Lima Sierra Z.
And
is
shift was 300
not
meters.
yet for takeoff.
So secondary flight plan, copy the active, we'll do a quick return.
Copy that. I'll hold short.
And landing
Okay,
runway
no, no,
is currently 34. So we'll go Lima, Oscar, Whiskey, Whiskey. Arrival. ILS 34.
Austrian 2471.
No star,
Could you
no
repeat
via.
your last message, please?
Also for November, push and start a line to H 101.
Yeah, so Yurak, different engines have different ratings. They have different flex ratings as well. Yeah, so it's not always the same.
Cabin 101, Roger, short, 4 minutes, we get here. I know. Thanks.
So we should be getting a final load sheet. Where is it? There it is. So let me resend the load
Okay,
sheet.
take off and again.
Austrian 2471, can you hear me?
So final load sheet 65.5 now. So it's a lot less than initially. So we'll enter the data in here as well.
Startup and en route
So
clearance.
we've got 59.3.
You have to file the flight plan on VATSIM network. I don't see your flight plan.
And we've got 31.3 as a fuel weight.
Okay, danke.
65.5 is the final takeoff weight, that's correct. So, hey Andreas, how are you? And Joey, you were thinking about starting to fly in VATSIM. I know how to fly, but I don't know ATC lingo. Does anyone suggest? Yeah, so there's a lot of YouTube videos, Joey. And then
November 8,
what you can do is just go on an airport, like Vienna here, for example. Just go into the apron, log in, and listen to ATC.
Austin 125, hold short Alpha 3 so that the Austin on your
Good, so now with 65.5 we get 1 more degree, or actually 2 more degree of flex, and the speeds are the same. So let me just enter the 63 in here. And there we go. Engine out procedure is a bit different, so we would go Vienna 29 initially. Course would be 292, and then once we hit 7.4 from Fisherman, now we can only enter 7 or 8, so I'll do 7. We go then left to Bravo Romeo Kilo, and that is a
Option 2471, have you got my flight plan now?
Cool. So that's how it looks like, straight out until we hit that circle, and then we go left to Bravo Romeo. That will be a downwind, but we'll call in Mayday and get radar vectors runway 34. Hey Ian, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Oh no, you got COVID, Andreas? I'm sorry, I hope everything goes well. Cool. Good, quick briefing. So we are taking off runway 29, intersection Alpha 3 maybe. We've got the ASIN 1 Charlie departure. Initial climb is 5,000 feet. The sector outbound is as follows. So we've got 4,700 as the sector, and we've got an extra fuel of about 200 kilograms, 6 minutes, but that's for the long arrival into Sofia.
Requesting taxi.
Taxi out, hotspots.
771, stand by. You first need a clearance for me. I don't have time for you to get through clearance now, so please.
So hotspots at the moment, well, it's not too complicated. Pushback, taxi out, probably whiskey, and then we go down to exit 2, Alpha 3, or it's going to be Mike, Alpha 2, Alpha 1. Engine up procedure, we'll just brief that. The engine acceleration is 2,100 feet. And then we go get radar vectors. We'll climb 3,000 feet. ILS 3-4 for landing. Weather is good. We are going to be 64.5 is max landing weight. Yeah, we may be above max landing weight, so we have to go into the overweight landing list. But really the only thing really interesting in that checklist is we'll start the APU, so we use APU bleed for the engine, for the air conditioning, so we have more power for the remaining engine. We'll use config 3 for landing. In case of missed approach out of config 3, we'll go straight to config 1. And after landing, max reverse, and then once we get the aircraft to stop, we'll switch on the brake fans immediately. The brightness of the EFB, let me see. So, oh no, I've killed the EFB again.
Could you repeat it, please?
I have a feeling that when you click up here, it kills the EFB.
You don't have a flight
That is so annoying.
But technically you have filed the flight plan, but there's only the destination at the departure airport, but there's no route. So I kindly ask you to file a valid flight plan. Yeah.
Where can I...
But that only does that
set
change
up
both
my route?
sides? No, it does not, does it? Hey, Hayden, good evening.
Austin 2471, I don't have time to
Would you consider
now.
Mandarin? I haven't really
You have
tried. Okay, so one thing, Joey, you can also try here in Europe, VATSIM. There is...
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I know,
Can I
John,
just
right?
101?
Second time now I've broken it.
164,
There is some events which are specifically done for people starting out on VATSIM. Just go onto VATSIM events and check those.
Turkish 16 X-ray Charlie, welcome to Vienna, taxi gate Foxtrot.
Does emergency briefing improve the new briefings? Well, no. So the engine out is briefed. So you have already made a concept for the return.
Austin 125, window camera.
But yeah, I don't, don't brief anything else regarding how to do RTO. Airbus specifically said with the new briefings that
departing company 737 landing up.
you should try to avoid briefing things which are, SOPs anyways. So I know that a lot of pilots briefed like, in case of engine failure after V1, we'll take a pitch of 10 degrees. Once airborne, we'll raise the landing gear. We will consider toga power, blah, blah, blah. So they will go through the procedure verbally. But Airbus doesn't want to do that anymore. So that's where the new briefing concept has come from now. And apparently there were like 5 different airlines. No, it's not. So MCK, well, depends on the aircraft. So if you have an heavy 321, you do not pull 12.5 degrees because you're going to bleed off airspeed like crazy. So it's never just a fixed value. And again, yeah, you've got to be flexible on that. So, we've got that gone. That's all fine.
134675, Jan, dankjes.
Yeah, so I've been flying a lot of 321s lately, hence I set 10 degrees, because that was pretty much something we would see as a potential threat in case of engine failure if you pull up, pitch too high. And the problem is that once you have the issue of being below V2. Oh, hang on. Okay, I can try that. Yeah, no, I think we tried that last time. As unfortunately, no, that does not work. No. Cool.
Turkish 16 X-ray Charlie. I think you missed your taxiway. Lima.
No, MCK,
So
you
I
brief.
have to gate for
MCK, you
Gate
brief things
is,
which could get you into trouble. So meaning,
that is,
if you have, you see, again, that's the kind of the thinking you do not want in the flight deck. You do not want to have, the really kind of black and white thinking. You have to kind of be aware of the specialities for each flight. And if it's a special thing, if it's a really critical thing for the 321, I think it's worth mentioning. Simple as that. All right, so there we go. That goes on. Oops. You said joke. It doesn't say joke anywhere in your sentence. Good. So that's all done. We are good to read the checklist.
Thank you for service.
Right, cockpit preparation checklist. Gear pins covers removed. Fuel quantity 6,340 kilograms. Balanced. Seat belts on. ADIRS. Oops. NAF and Bauer ref. QNH 1016. Cockpit preparation checklist completed. Cool. Let's get the pushback truck connected. I'm going to try to use my iPad for that. Austrian 56 kilo stand Fox 26 requesting push and start, please.
Austin 46 kilo, push and start if it's approved on the blue line, and do me a favor, do a long pushback on the blue line. One QNH 1016.
Kinish 1016 will do a long pushback on the blue line, Austrian 5-6 kilo. So, that's something.
Turkish 1-6.
Exactly, so
Charlie,
like
take
MCK
the
said,
next gate on your left,
data
is
index,
connected,
position
I thought.
monitor, and you see all three IRS are aligned. If they were not in nav mode, it would say aligned, for example. So that's why you check that, make sure that you have all of them aligned. So that's done.
Turkish 1-6, Charlie, X-ray tower. Some Golf, line up on the 29 Alpha.
He's logged off. Right, blue line.
Austrian 4 November, contacting radar 134, this is 675, bye-bye. 134,
It's the first one.
Austrian 4 November, 1190. Thank you, you too. Austrian 2 and minor Alpha, when clear of the company on your right side, push start from the blue line to NH1016.
NH1016 will keep the company on the right side and push up to blue line, and I can also give you orange line of 29 Alpha.
So I guess we got someone else.
It's 7 Golf, little camera, 29 clear for takeoff. Clear, go for 29,
Right, so long pushback onto the blue line. That looks good to me. Ah, that's why.
2471, have you gotten a flight plan now?
Austrian 2471.
Good, let's do engine start then. So, oh yeah, regarding engine start failures, let's do one first of all.
Mid 897, request taxi, able
So I think that's long enough, isn't it?
897, taxi on Port runway 29 via Whiskey Alpha 3.
Taxi on Port 29 via Whiskey Alpha 3 approved, swing 810.
Yeah, let's stop here then. Okay, so we'll do a engine start this time. What shall we do then? So if we go to that page here, we've got start faults. Let's do a hung start.
Austrian 2471, I just sent you a new flight plan. Your old one had route.
So there we go. So we got engine 2 start. So a hung start means that the rotation of the fan will be too slow. So the FADEC will detect any abnormality regarding EGT rise, regarding the acceleration of the N2, N1.
I will look at it, thank you.
It'll notice a stall maybe, so we might even get a stall message right now. You can see here the N1 rises very slowly at the moment. Actually gets pretty much stuck. Now we get, because there's not a correct airflow through the engine, it actually says engine start fault, engine 2 stall. What it should do is cut fuel. There we go, it cuts fuel. It does a crank, an automatic crank, so a blowout of the fuel. And then tries to restart again. So it says new start in progress. Yeah, the FADEC is very smart, yeah. However, we can see that it still has the issue where it is just a hung start. And again, auto crank in progress, so it's blowing out the, so start valve still open, it's blowing out the residual fuel. And then it will tell me to switch off engine 2, because obviously now the FADEC says there's something seriously wrong with the engine. And so once it's done its automatic crank, you can see the EGT is going down as well. It says now engine master 2 off. We'll do that. And here we had a fault light in there telling us there is a fault in the system.
Windmill 8907.
So what we do now is we would call in maintenance. Although, can somebody think, I'm sure MCK can think of it, can somebody think of a reason why we may get a hung start? There is a specific weather situation where a hung start could occur. See if anybody would know that. Tailwind, yes, exactly, tailwind. If there's a lot of tailwind, so let's say 25, 30 knots tailwind, it kind of rotates the N1, yeah, Aviator, exactly, into the wrong direction. So, hey, Giftzwerg, so that way you could have a slow rising N1 because it has to fight the tailwind. So in this case, what would we do then? So in this case, we actually have the option to do a manual engine start. So for that, we would reset the start switch there. Oh, really? So 220 have issues. Okay, interesting. I know for us, the 321 really has major issues with it. So what we'll do then is we'll do a manual engine start. And for that, what happens is the moment that we select the manual engine start switch. Oh, I need to set the score 1504. Right, there we go. Press Y and salute. Yeah. So what we do is the moment that we go ignition start and then select the manual push button on the overhead panel, it'll open the start valve. Now, we're not going to move the master switch to on until we hit about 22, 23% N2. So here's the manual engine start switch, number 2. So you can see that opens up the start valve. Exactly, John, exactly that. It is literally like starting a 737. And the weird thing is, I've done like 3 or 4 manual engine starts in the last 3 weeks. So there we go. We got a good N2 rotation, a little bit N1 rotation. So let's go put that to on. Now, if you do a manual engine start, you get igniter A and B firing up. Yes, you would follow the QRH procedure, but I don't have it here in the stream, so I'll do it off by heart. So now 50% roundabout, we see the start valve closes, igniters are switched back off, and there we have now a good engine start. Just deselect that switch here, and that's it. That's how you would then do a manual engine start. Hey, Mustafa, how are you doing? So it's not really something really complicated to do, especially when you know how to start a 737 engine, which are also CFM engines. Yeah, so there are several cases where a manual engine start may be required. Hot outside temperature could be an issue, tailwind, like we said, or if you have an igniter failure. So let's say on since it alternates the use of the igniter depending on the engine start cycle. So now it's using A. For the next engine start, it'll use B. So let's say the igniter B was broken and it uses B on its first start. You'll have a wet start, so there will be no light up, no ignition. And then you would then do a procedure with maintenance. They would deactivate the B circuit, pull circuit breakers, etc., and then you would be dispatched according MEL, and then for the engine start, you'll probably do a manual engine start because it'll use both circuits. Good, so we got a good engine start on 1 and 2. Yeah, whenever you have a issue with an engine or engine start, you would contact maintenance and make sure that you understand what the issue is. Oops. And check if there is a maintenance procedure that has to be followed. And then, of course, you can decide whether or not you're going to do a full down a manual engine start or not. Full left, full right, neutral. Yeah, full left, full right, neutral. Interestingly enough, like I said, I've done at least three manual engine starts because of the ignition B system not working. Yeah, deep diver. What you can do with a manual engine start, you would open the start valve, and so the N2 would start rotating. And if you're using automatic startup sequence in CFM, it will not check your N1 by the time you reach like 22-23% N2, and then it'll introduce the fuel ignition, and that way your N1 may be too low because of the tailwind. So if you do a manual engine start, you can make sure that the N1 is already stabilizing at a positive rate, because if it's turning the wrong way, you'll have a no indication, or like zero rotation. So you can wait until the engine has had a time for the N2 to then get the N1 rotating in the correct direction, and then you would manually put the start switch to on, and then have fuel and ignition. Good. So we've done that. Oops. I am going to go flaps 2. Flaps 2. We've done that. Reset that, and the trim is supposed to be 29.6, down 0.2, 0.3. Fantastic. Right. So after start checklist, anti-ice is off. Ecam status is checked. We've got the... Where are we? Pitch trim. Pitch trim is 29.6%, and the rudder trim is neutral after start checklist completed. Austrian 56 kilo request taxi.
Awesome, 56 kilo, finally taxiing from the runway 29 via Whiskey Mike, intersection Alpha 3 approved.
Thank you much. Whiskey and Mike, Alpha 3, holding point 29, Austrian 56 kilo. Fantastic. Good news that we can use that. It's the dome. It looks to me like the dome light is on, but it's not. It's just a floodlight. It's this thing here.
Delta Echo Quebec Alpha.
So left side clear, right side clear. Off we go.
Could new subscribers please make your way to the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks,
yeah, the sky does look lovely. Yeah.
Entertainment will be served.
Lovely colours.
Thank you.
Solo Wings, merci beaucoup, monsieur. How are you doing? Brake check. Brakes are working. Solo Wings, thank you so much. Almost 2 years. Time flies fast. It does, doesn't it? Solo Wings, are you in a region in France where you're actually affected by these fires?
Delta Alpha, correction, Delta Alpha uniform, you are cleared leaving control.
Chris, you like the Austria airline livery? Operate by Lufthansa Group, top side, and I guess Lufthansa has a lot of groups operated by different airlines. Oh yeah, Lufthansa Group is fairly big. So they have Brussels, they have Swiss, they have Austrian, they have the Lufthansa main group, they have Air Dolomiti, they have Eurowings, Eurowings Discover. Soon they have, well, they have Cityline, then they have Cityline 2 very soon.
Delta Alpha uniform, readback correct, taxiing from the runway 29 in any intersection is approved, and taxiway Mike, please.
Well, I tell you what, I'm not really too fussed regarding the top buttons there. I use them for the viewpoints anyways. So, oh, and soon maybe Itaro, so Alitalia. or former Alitalia.
Point runway 29 now, via Mike.
So, here comes Whiskey.
Approved. Delta uniform.
Yeah.
Hey, autopilot, well, I'm dual streaming, yeah, so I'm on Twitch and I'm on YouTube. So whatever you prefer, you can watch wherever you like.
Aber schon noch anhalten.
Yep.
So how about the... Okay, so Nico, the crank switch is simply there to open the start valve to get N2 rotation. There will be no fuel and ignition in that case. That's the honeycomb Bravo throttle quadrant, this one here. And the add-on, so the hardware add-on is from it's from Flight Sim Factory. And I will give you the link if you like in a minute. So we need to do a checklist. We do the taxi checklist. Flight controls checked. Flap setting, config 2. Radar predicted wind shear system in up here.
56 kilo, Wind KM runway 29 clear to takeoff.
Runway 29 clear takeoff, Austrian 56 kilo, thank you. Engine mode selector, normal. Eco memo, takeoff no blue. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. Lineup checklist. Takeoff runway 29 Alpha 3 confirmed. TCAS, TARA, and the packs are on. We are ready for departure. Approach sector is clear. We've got the correct shift, 300 meters, Alpha 3, as we have programmed it. And we will go chrono on. It'll be a rolling takeoff. Let's go. Yeah, the crank switch really doesn't really do much apart from allowing you to do a crank. So trying to blow out excess fuel, for example. Takeoff. Manflex 63 SRS. Runway auto thrust blue. Thrust set. $100 knots. P1, rotate. Pause the climb. Gear up. Enough. So 1,000 feet left turn. Again, it's about 400 feet above the ground. Here we go.
Austrian 56 kilo, contacting radar 134, this is 675, bye-bye.
134, 675, thank you so much, have a great evening. Austrian 56 kilo. So for workload management, autopilot on, flaps 1, speed is checked, flaps 1.
Austrian 1247 meters.
I should have set the departure frequency prior to departure really, 134. 675, that would speed things up a bit. In departure, servos, the Austrian 56 kilo passing 2,800, climbing 5,000, hours in 1 Charlie.
Austrian 56 kilo, servos, identified climb flight level 230.
Austrian 56 kilo, climb level 230. Good, we've got gear up, flaps up, spoilers disarmed, nose gear lights off.
Austrian 6 kilo, passing 6,000, direct RC.
Thank you very much. Passing 6,000 to ASIAN, Austrian 6 kilo. So that's really cool. So we're already getting a nice direct out of 6,000. So I'll pre-select that already. And I'm just going to wait until we pass 6,000 to activate it. So John, are you telling us that the next update will bring a lot better sounds? Right, 6,000 it is. It's a nice shortcut to ASIAN. Wonderful. Lovely. I love these evening kind of settings. Really nice. Jeremiah, yeah, you should. One thing you will always see then, if you have them armed, you have the message here. Right, ground spoilers armed. And in flight, what you want to have, you want to have a clean engine warning display. Yeah, for me personally, John, I really, really hope that they do fix... Just dial down the sounds a bit here. I do hope that they're going to fix some of the issues, for example, with the pitch. I'm talking about, for example, engine out. So one of the reasons why I've not really done many engine out procedures here is because, yeah, you can pull like 15 degrees pitch with engine out, which is completely unrealistic. Well, Jeremiah, the arming of the ground spoilers, as the name says, doesn't do anything in flight, yeah. But again, you don't want to have a switch in a position that doesn't make sense. So that's why I would disarm it in flight. And then once you prepare for landing, that's when the procedure requires you to arm the spoilers, the ground spoilers. That's when you arm them again. Good, so we've already switched off the landing lights. The seatbelt signs are off, so now we have a nice clean engine warning display here. And RatNav, clear anything we have in there. We don't. Secondary flight plan, copy deactive now. And then we take out all of the fix info again to have a nice clean display here as well. There we go. Cool. I actually had a go around in real life in a Neo in Frankfurt that had soft go around mode, and it's silly really to have to anticipate a go around and kind of look forward to it. The reason why we actually knew it was coming was as follows. So an aircraft that just landed had a bird strike in the flare. Yeah, the TOLUS has it, John. The TOLUS, I think 321. I'm not sure. Yeah, 321.
Kilo, you're leaving my airspace shortly. Monitor Unicom. Longitude, that's 18. And schönen Flug. Pfiat.
Ja, Pfiat, danke euch. Einen schönen Abend. Die Austrian 6 Kilo, switching to Unicom. Yeah, so let me just switch to Unicom and then I can tell you more about it. So the aircraft that was in the flare had a bird strike, and they said they hit a big bird. So what happens then, and I've seen it so many times, is the aircraft that is right behind the aircraft that just reported an issue, they get asked if they accept the landing clearance, knowing that the aircraft ahead of them had a bird strike. So you could assess the risks in landing with some bird remains on the runway, if you say that's going to be a risk depending on where the bird remains are regarding, you know, reverse thrust, you know, if you need a reverse thrust for whatever reason, short runway, wet runway, contaminated runway, etc., yeah, you may actually suck in those bird remains and damage your engine. Regarding landing gear, if it's a small bird or something, there shouldn't be an issue really. There wouldn't be any damage. So the only thing really that could be an issue is the engine in case of, you know, strong reverse thrust. But again, you can, you know, if you say it's the safest course of action to go around. Hey Philip, yes, how are you doing? I'm doing well. How are you doing? You know, you can always go around. Don't we have a song for that?
You can always go around if it don't look right coming down. Don't wait until you're sideways, baby, sliding on the ground. You can always go around.
Exactly. So, you know, you can always go around if you say that's the safest course of action. Now, we were not that next aircraft. We were actually the second aircraft behind the one that reported the bird strike. So I told my first officer, we were about, I would say we were just past about 1,500 feet altitude. And so I said to my FO, very likely we're going to get a call from tower to go around, because we are the second one in line now. And I've seen it so many times. And I said to my first officer, remember, because I was pilot flying, I said, remember, we have soft go-around mode. Right? And then I heard, yeah, exactly, MCK. Good. I don't know how you know these things, MCKs. Yeah, so it was 7 left, yeah. We heard our call sign and the instruction, discontinue approach, go around. I say again, discontinue approach, go around. And so in this case, there is no hurry, right? So I waited until my first officer did the readback. And then I went go around flaps. And the cool thing is, you go 2 notches up, toga, and then straight back to flex MCT. And that puts the aircraft into soft go-around mode, where it modulates the thrust and it commands a pitch of about 2,000 feet per minute. So the cool thing is that it makes the whole procedure a lot more relaxed, a lot less energetic. So it's not going slam full thrust, you know, and you pitch up 20 degrees and so on. It's a lot less energetic, you know, less stressful on the engine, on your, you know, on your workload, etc., etc. So, yeah, so that was interesting, and it went really nice. It was a really cool procedure, I have to say. So yeah, first time for me with the real aircraft. I've done it many times in the simulator. So progress 370. Now it says optimum 350. All right, let's go 350 then. Normally, if you just put in something like that, it should put in 350. There we go, 350. Yeah, so URAC for us, we have in our technical logbook, in the handicap important item list, we have a line somewhere in there that says soft go-around mode installed. And so until all aircraft have been refitted, which I don't think all of them can be, you'll have that entry in the logbook. And I'm, as a captain, I'm required to check the handicap item list and discuss that with my first officer. So yeah, MCK, they are refitting them to I would need to check, but I'm pretty sure that all of our Neos have them now. So 320, 321 now. Yeah, so exactly. So like MCK says, it's literally, you know, for dummies. You just read what it says there, right? And it says soft go around, and you just read that. Yeah, it's getting quite complex sometimes regarding all of the different hardware or software setups. So, you know, we have aircraft that have soft go around mode. We have aircraft that have auto TCAS. We have aircraft that don't. We have aircraft that have ROPS. Now we have aircraft, the newest generation with, is it a 17 S17? Yeah, where it says you kick out the auto brake, and it'll give you a oral call out. With, I think it's auto brake. Not sure if it says auto brake off or just auto brake. Yeah, so all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it has some amendments also in the FMS. So, for example, when you go direct to and you select a beam points, it will then actually also include the restrictions, speed and altitude restrictions. So lots of different stuff coming. Hey, hey Nemu, how you doing? Also, do you mind sharing your opinion on something? I'm currently 27, Austrian citizen, considering ATPL training as a second career. Do you think it's stupid in terms of future pilot demand or my age? No, neither. So 27 is an age. So anything before 30, I consider an age that is absolutely fine to go and start a career as an airline pilot. The only really thing you can discuss is whether or not right now is a good time, or if you should maybe wait another 12 months. The reason being is that what some people, including myself, I think it's the moon coming there, is that when demand picks up for pilots, so you have a lot of requirements for new pilots, then conditions may improve regarding financing, regarding, you know, training costs and so on. So you know, you may, if you start right now, you may have to pay, let's say, 100,000 euros, and then maybe next year they're going to give you a 30,000 euro bonus.
Autopilot. Autopilot.
Hey Magnus, again, thank you so much for another 55 Swedish krona. And guys, this is so cool. Goosebump time. This is something I see IRL, and it's like a red moon, and when that starts to come over the horizon, initially you always think like, what the hell is that? And then as you get, you know, you climb up, you fly towards the moon, you can actually, or you fly in the direction of the moon, it really rises really quickly. But that's a cool simulation here in Microsoft. Really love that. Magnus, so thank you so much again. And so what's the difference between missed approach and go around? Well, normally you would say one is missed approach in the sense of the lateral path, while go around is more the vertical path. Now, it's more a definition from ATC. So ATC wants to make sure that there's no miscommunication or misunderstanding. So that's why they actually say pull up, go around. And then they will say follow standard missed approach procedure, meaning you should follow the standard lateral missed approach procedure path. Supermoon, yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? Now, last night I was actually on my porch looking into the night sky. Then to watch some of these shooting stars. but I only saw like one. So today, apparently today is supposed to be a lot more active, so I'll watch today. Well, I don't know, MCK, what they were supposed to say, but that's something I hear very often. Maybe because there's still, I don't know, some people in the stress moment, they fall back to old wordings, or, you know, some airports in Spain, for example, I would not be surprised to hear that. So yeah, in Frankfurt, I'm pretty sure he said discontinue approach, go around. Ah, beautiful pictures. I wish I could, but yeah. So after stream kitman tonight, which should be around midnight, I would think. Yeah, I'll go outside and have a nice drink, and then watch the stars again. See if I can find some shooting stars. Right, lovely. Coming up 35,000 feet here. There's a company message, probably because we're late. It's always the same. Oh man. Right. Cool. So we reached the cruising level. We'll check the altimeters again. Normally we will have a quick look when we enter the RVSM. Make sure that everything's set correctly. And normally would have said set standard. Make sure all the altimeters set to standard. Pilot monitoring will say standard cross check, passing flight level such and such, and the pilot flying will say checked. I don't know, Eagle Motion. I have no idea. Well, actually, let's ask MCK then, because he's a VATSIM controller as well, and they do things according to real-world procedures. So MCK, what's the correct call from ATC for you to go around? I'm so sure. I wish I could have a recording, ATC recording, but that's not allowed in Germany. I'm 100% sure he said discontinue approach, go around. And he said that twice. I say again, discontinue approach, go around. What's the worst dad joke, you know? I'm really terrible when it comes to jokes. I have such a bad memory with regards to jokes. When somebody asks, like, you know, tell a joke, I'm like, oh my god, you know. You can also say go around immediately. Okay. In terms of approach clearance, but yeah, so I mean, you know, yeah, exactly. So the approach clearance is terminated. Oh yeah, so the thing is this: don't panic. So when you hear go around from ATC or go around immediately, don't panic, right? Unless, of course, you're very close to the ground and you need to do something, you know, quickly. Normally, you can continue for another couple of seconds. Yeah, exactly. No, don't panic. Because if he is, you know, your pilot monitoring, he has to read back the instruction from ATC. So it doesn't really make sense to, you know, to call out loudly, go around flaps, while he's reading back the instruction from ATC, right? So you could simply wait until he's finished the read back. That moon, though. And then you just, you know, do your procedure. Go around flaps, put the thrust levers to the toggle notch, you pull up about 15 degrees, follow flight director, and then you read out the commands, the FMS commands here, and then once you've done that, the pilot monitor says positive climb, and then you command gear up. That's why when you watch on YouTube, for example, you watch some go-arounds from time to time, you always wonder why they take a long time to raise the landing gear. And again, there's no hurry. You have so much power. Normally when you land, the aircraft has burnt off a lot of fuel, right? You're not at max takeoff weight anymore. You have 2 good engines. There's just absolutely no hurry. You don't need, for performance, with 2 engines, to raise the landing gear quickly. Yeah, the only time you would go like 2 steps up on the missed approach is the overweight landing in config 3. That's the only time where you go around flaps and you go from 3 to 1. Now, if you have a heavy 321, literally you're gonna be leveling off for quite some seconds before being able to continue the climb. Philip, you asked, when learning for my IFR rating, I came around that in case of a radio comm failure and you are on VMC, you have to continue VFR. Would you do this in an airliner? Well, I mean, yeah, you're supposed to continue visually and land visually at an airfield that's suitable, but with an airliner, I mean, I would literally continue on my flight plan and then you squawk 7600, so ATC would know that you have a comm issue. Also, be aware that literally in the airliners, the only reason these days why you have comm failure is because you have selected the wrong frequency, right? You've botched something up with the setup. You have 3 different radio sets. So even if you pour orange juice in one of them, you should still have, you know, 2 good ones. So even the one on the overhead panel, you can use as a normal VHF panel. So if that fails, you have your, well, I mean, ACARs, assuming you still have ACARs available, right? So it says data there. You can actually continue communicating over ACAR system. If you are low enough to the ground, your mobile phones may work. What, Wizz Air doesn't have RMP3? Are you serious? Good God. Eagle Motion is just an example with orange juice, right? Not that it ever happened to IRL. It's just an example. Yeah, so again, I have not heard of a loss of communications for years and years that has resulted from a failure of the panels. It is literally finger trouble, pilots falling asleep, that sort of stuff. Yeah, so Philip, really, you know, it depends on your remaining flight time, but literally on short-range flights, continuing on your flight planned route and then go into the initial approach fix and then fly the holding there until you are within your normal standard time of arrival, and then descend in the holding pattern to your initial approach altitude and just follow the standard approach, including altitudes. You know, you give ATC the time to you know, clear the path, etc. I just do not see a reason to land an airliner under visual rules outside somewhere, an airfield which, you know, may have lots of VFR traffic. I just do not see a safer course of action there. Nico, hey, ever practice flying in direct law? No. So Nico, the thing is this. I've never had a failure that led to a direct law, but I can tell you from people that actually have had a malfunction that led to a direct law, and they said it's easier than doing it in a flight sim. I remember doing manual reversion in the 737 in a real aircraft because with the maintenance flight. So as a first officer back then, I was doing maintenance flights as a first officer, and we did do that, and it actually was easier than doing that in a flight sim. So in other words, if you manage that in a flight sim, including engine failure, you're good to go in the real aircraft. Yeah, exactly, MCK. Go to Egelsbach. You'll have lots of new friends there. Yeah. So Nico, literally, the best advice that I've been giving from an instructor regarding direct law in the Airbus is just do nice, smooth control inputs, and then trim the aircraft manually. But smooth inputs. Don't chase deviations. Correct them smoothly, but don't chase them. And then you're good to go. That's, you know, not a big issue. Yeah, so Philip, again, what I can tell you from 30 years of experience in aviation is that aviation is complicated. There is lots of procedures, lots of rules, regulations. The aircraft have their own complexities regarding systems, etc., etc. However, there are things you learn in flight school you will never come across in real life. There's things that are really, really important to know, and there's things that you don't need to know off by heart. So yeah, and also the thing is, the amount of stuff, the volume of stuff you need to know as a pilot is huge. Hence, I admire people that have the ability and the, you know, the hard drive space in their brain to literally store everything. I don't. So what I can say is that in all my career, all my flights tests, all my, you know, check flights, I've gotten extremely good grades in all areas. So, you know, I'm confident that I do a good job, but I do not know everything off by heart. I don't. I know what I need to know, and but there's some stuff that doesn't really interest me either. So the aircraft will go normal law. Oh yeah, and also I also talked about something that I've been hearing a lot in seminars. Oh look, lovely. That's a cool picture. Where if you review incidents and accidents, there have been issues with some people, some pilots, not making decisions quickly enough because they were evaluating everything and they were looking into every little minute detail regarding, you know, rules, regulations, and then going, oh, but there's also this regulation and there's also this, and oh yeah, we may need to consider this, and isn't this the standard here that we have, blah blah blah, and you know, shouldn't the autopilot 2 work now or not? Well, you know, just try it. Oh, it works, right? You don't get extra points for knowing electric circuits and knowing exactly where which autopilot, which whatever system is wired to which bus. There's some things that are important, and then there's things where you just try it, right? And again, there's been so many incidents, accidents where people have not made decisions because they were over-evaluating things, because they knew they had a huge amount of knowledge and information in their memory at hand. Yeah. I think I told you a story about a good friend of mine who had real big issues when it came to twin prop flying and engine failures. He actually almost dropped out. I told the story a long time ago, and he came to me. We had a beer together, and he was really down, and told me, you know, he's failed 2 check rides now, and he's risking of dropping out. And so I talked to him. I said, well, what do you do? How do you act on having engine failure? And so he goes, yeah. So when I notice engine failing, I'll have a look which side the RPM drops, and so then I'll know the RPM drops there, meaning the other engine has more power. So I have then to press the rudder pedal that has the side where the engine has more power. And I just couldn't believe that he was telling me this. I'm like, you what? And he said, well, how do you do it? So I look outside, and then I see the nose goes left. It yaws to the left because the engine on the left side has failed, and I press the right rudder. That's it, right? So, yeah, and so again, it's people over analyzing things, taking things too theoretically, and it goes into all areas. Yeah, but always here in the A320, trust me, if that, similar to the ball right at the yaw moment, if that goes somewhere, trust me, I don't know. I don't know if you interpret that little box there in the correct manner. And again, you don't want to hit the wrong rudder with an engine failure. The aircraft doesn't really like that. All right, so that is one of those vital things, especially when you load to the ground, slow airspeed. Ooh, don't hit the wrong rudder. Nico, yeah, don't worry. So Nico, yeah, there's lots of Nico. So Nico Rosberg, we got Nico CNN. Right, we're already half time. Let's have a look at the weather. Let's check. Oh, I have to go this way now. Well, this is the same thing as, so in the real aircraft, what you have, let's say the left engine has failed, so you're applying right rudder to counteract the yaw moment from the right side. So you have right rudder fighting the thrust from the right-hand side. So then you need to trim the rudder trim to the right. And in the real aircraft, you can feel when you're trimming in the right direction that you can ease the pressure of the rudder pedal to keep the yaw centered. It's a lot easier in the real aircraft. So let's do weather. Weather request. It doesn't. I keep wondering regarding the ATIS. So let's go here. So let's go arrival. ATIS. Good. Sofia, information kilo, it says on VATSIM. Actually, let me go pull up the info here. Update. There we go. So we got information kilo at 18:30 UTC. That's 18 minutes old. Runway 09 as expected. Transition level is very high. We'll get to that in a minute why that is. 120. Wind is 1404 degrees. Variable between 110 and 180 degrees. We have 10 kilometers visibility. Sky clear. Temperature 21. Dew point 14. QNH 1015. So I will enter that data. MCK, tell me how I can reset it. I will be glad to use it. It's broken. You don't know. All right. Yeah, I wish I would know, but I can't fix it. Let's put that to below. So, performance page. Let's go to QNH 1015. 1015. And for all the the testers, FENIX testers, make sure that you emphasize that the EFB gets broken very easily. We need that fixed ASAP. 140 at 4. External. That lighting. Yeah, no, it doesn't do anything. Nope, nothing works there. Alrighty, so looking at the approach, let's go through the specifics. Call Katie. Yeah. You're gonna have to get the rear one out. No, we'll use the first officer side. We'll use that one. So, Sofia Star, let's do the, where is it? NISVA. So expecting the NISVA 4 Delta arrival. Yeehaw. Lots of restrictions, speed restrictions. Lowest is 7,000 until Bengo. Right, so these are the lowest altitudes. Lots of track miles, obviously, that can be, well, get a shortcut. You can cut off a lot of distance from the approach. So one thing I would advise you guys to do if you fly to Sofia is go progress page and just put in the runway there. So that way you have a nice straight-in distance. Hey Ted, nice to see you. Ted, are you enjoying your holidays? I hope you are. So landing 09, we want to exit Echo. Echo has a distance. Let's just see. Echo has a distance of 2,180 meters. So auto brake low is definitely going to be the way to go here. I'll already select that. Wow, those clouds, look at that. Love it. What a cool picture. Yeah, and if you're unsure, you can always ask for track mileage for the controller. You can ask, you know, how many track miles remaining. So braking action will be at, well, it's a dry run. Actually, I tell you what, let's go good, because we may have some rain showers. So that's the wind temperature, QNH, that's all correct. Landing weight. Landing weight right now is 63 roundabout, so let's do 63 tons. Auto brake low, idle reverse, flat full, and auto thrust off. Yeah, so 2,100 is the landing distance required, and the factored, so 15% more, is 2,424. And we have available 3,600 meters. So long runway, no issues whatsoever with that. Man, I'm actually... Imagine seeing some shooting stars now here in the sim. That would be crazy. Good. Regarding arrival routing, so let's go and select the ILS Zulu approach. So the star will get us to Bengo at 7,000, and from there we would do a straightened approach. Now, 3-degree profile, and you can see high terrain to the south. There's a huge mountain there. And very impressive. And there is some high terrain to the north as well. So it's in a valley, and if you have thunderstorms, for example, you would have them in the valley, and they will be sometimes stuck in here. And that actually, because you don't have much room for maneuvering, that can be quite challenging in Sofia. Another cool thing is, which is not going to be happening today, unfortunately, is if you have runway 27 in use and you have good weather with good visibility, you can ask for a visual approach. And I've done 2 visual approaches there in the last couple of weeks or months, where you can actually descend nicely down to normal pattern altitude. So elevation is about 1,800. You can go down to about 3,200 feet, 3,300 feet, and then just do a nice standard pattern. So, you know, config 1 here, 190 knots, outbound, 3 seconds per 100 feet, height, turn, go flaps 2 on the outbound leg there, gear down, base, 3, config full if you like, and then finals. Really nice to do that. And here on the northern side, going visual approach is fine. There's not many, that doesn't really affect you in the visual approach. You're much closer to the airfield. Really cool. But that's not going to happen tonight, so it's going to be out of 7,000, then step down to Luxor 4-1, or 6-1, and then Luxor to Maghreb. It's going to be 4-1, and that's the final intercept there. Final push point 089 inbound, and the minimum is going to be 1940. Missed approach is going to be straight out towards Sierra Fox 450, 4,500 feet. Turn right, maximum 2 to 10 knots, and climb to 8,000 to enter hold. And in the holding, climb to 10,000 as directed. You vote for Bucharest diversion. Well, we'll see. We'll see how busy it is. We don't have that much fuel, unfortunately, so we can't do... Let's see how much fuel we have. Well, we do have some 800 kilograms still. All right, that's fine. So the min diversion fuel, according to the flight plan, is 1.3 and 1. So 2.3 is the minimum diversion fuel. Yeah, so we do have 800 kilograms. Now, about 20-25 minutes extra. Zurück. Okay, ich hab dich gehört, ja. Warte. Alrighty. Minimums 1940 we said, didn't we? The problem here is in the FENIX, it does have little bit of yaw moment, but it's not really having the full, you know, what would you expect for a engine out, unfortunately. So engine failure at the moment in the FENIX is not really that challenging. Robin, I'm not disclosing. I'm not disclosing any infos on where I work. So 1940 for the minimums, Barrow. I had an interesting question on one of my YouTube. Yeah, always don't know worries. And sometimes you have Barrow here, sometimes you have MDA, and then he was saying, well, most approaches or most approach charts actually have DA, decision altitude, showing. And so they were kind of getting confused about all of these definitions. So decision altitude really is for precision approaches where the moment that you hit that altitude, you go around if you don't have the visual requirements. All right? If it says MDA, and normally you have that on the non-precision approaches, here, MDA, it's a minimum descent altitude, meaning you can quickly descend down to the MDA. Well, you have to make sure that you keep all those crossing altitudes. So here, for example, 2.1, you would need to be 2,600 feet, not below. But then, from this point onwards, you could dive down to the minimum if you like, and then do a level off until the missed approach point, and then you would go around. So that's really the big difference between definitions of decision altitude and minimum descent altitude. Airbus doesn't really care about these chart definitions. So they really care about either a minimum reference to altitude, so QNH, mean sea level, or category 2, category 3, a radio altitude setting. Hey Julian, good evening. So that's how, you know, Airbus sees it here. So again, don't get too hung up on these definitions. So if you see MDA, enter that into Barrow. If you see DA for your ILS approach here, for example, you enter that here again in the Barrow. The reason why you have on a precision approach DA, decision altitude, is because they would assume that you stick to the glide slope indication, right? So you have your glide slope indication centered, meaning when you reach the minimum, you're exactly at the right position, and then you would go around. Simple as that. I know, so MCK these days, people are flying CDFA, so continuous descent, final approach, because their systems and their guidance modes allow them to do so. Of course, nobody these days really dives down, you know, when you have step descents. And that's still from the old kind of way flying, where you would have, you know, DME distance and then a step down altitude. And it would be like, hit that DME fix, go down to the next one, level off, etc., etc. So nowadays, with all the equipment available, yeah, you have the CDFA. And it says that here as well, right? So here it says CDFA for the localizer approach, for example, glide slope out. And let's see what it says for the VUR approach. Yeah, it says that here as well, right? So they would assume you actually do that nicely in a 3-degree profile. So either with a flight path angle indication, or translate that into a vertical speed value that you strictly follow. Good. So what else do we need to do? We need to set up some radios. So let's go with the ILS approach again, and let's do Sofia, Sierra Oscar Foxtrot. With the Sofia airport, I would strongly recommend drawing in some of these sector altitudes. It is a little bit more complex here because you can see these pies actually being drawn around different fixes. So here, for example, you have one from Bengo, and normally you would have another one somewhere else, but that's completely missing. That's Navigraph, I guess. Let's have a look if there's anything more here. Oh, there we go. So what you can do here, actually, you can draw in this one, for example. So let's do that. Right. Yeah, 93 miles. Yeah, MCK has a good point. So we'll start initially our descent down. I don't know when we get picked up by the approach. We have approach control 23.7. All right, yeah, so let's do open descent out blue initially. And let's pre-dial 23.7. Actually, let's make this active. Let's listen in already. See how busy they were.
Qatari 44 Romeo, contact Sofia, control 131.225, bye-bye.
Frequency again, Qatari 44 Romeo.
Qatari 44 Romeo, contact 131.225, bye-bye.
131.225, bye-bye, Qatari 44 Romeo.
So, we'll take Sofia VOR. Hey, Lewis Daniel, again, thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. How are you doing? The inner circle is... How many miles is that? It's 15 miles.
Austin for November, contact tower 118.1, have a great landing, bye-bye.
And that's 05.
118.1,
that's
thank
238.
you.
238. Put that in there. And then we want 138 as well.
Lufthansa 69er, fly heading 080 degrees.
Heading 080, Lufthansa 69er.
And we'll do a 25-mile radius. And there we go. All right, so let's have a look. So there we
Wait,
go.
Mail 7 Golf, descend 6,000 feet, clear direct to approach, runway 09er.
That gives us a nice visual cue now. So we have 10,600 here, and we have 9,600 here, and we will have 7,600 all around there. So that helps us now with the... Yeah, Prophet, I would not really worry too much about these routings from SimBrief for the arrival and transitions and so on. They're not really the best. I'm just going to call in now for the approach information kilo. Sofia approach, very good evening from Austrian 56 kilo, inbound to Nisva, passing 270, and we have information kilo.
Austrian 56 kilo, Sofia approach, hello, stand by. Wait, mail 897, descent 7,000 feet, expect shortcut.
Descent 7,000 feet, Roger, wind mail 897.
Hey Chuck, how you doing?
Austrian 56 kilo, Sofia approach, hello, identified. Cleared Vienna Nisa for hotel arrival, expect ILS Sula approach runway 09 and continue descent flight level 130.
Austrian 56 kilo, we're descending, flight level 130. We are expecting the Nisva, just confirm 4 hotel or 4 Delta?
4 Delta.
4 Delta, thank you. And yeah, descending 130. Information kilo on board, Austrian 56 kilo.
Correct.
So, 4 Delta, I initially understood 4 hotel, but it doesn't exist, so we've been cleared. That
7334, Sofia approach, hello, stand by.
That
wait,
programmed.
mail 897, past Sierra Foxtrot 407, direct Bangkok, cleared ILS
so,
runway 09.
the expected approach initially, and we're descending 130. Now, 64 miles to go, so if we go straight in, we would be high in the approach right now, so I would just leave that running as is, just to be ready for anything in the approach. And there isn't any
base station calling, say again?
altitudes we need to cross at. We only have a minimum altitude on the arrival routing. So let's just
India
continue
Sierra Tango 334.
assuming that we're not going to fly the complete procedure.
Istanbul 334, Sofia approach allow identified.
Is there any
Clear
document
vehicle
regarding
Lima
any failure?
for
Well, to be honest,
Delta
Chuck,
arrival. Expect ILS Zulu
with
approach
the
runway 09 air.
oh, look at that, you can see
Flight
Sofia
level
there
130.
already. Oh, that looks absolutely brilliant today with the full moon. That's the high mountain there to the south. Crazy good. So
6 and 9 air, contact Sofia.
if you get a
control
failure,
131
you're going to have an
225
ECAM
behavior.
checklist. There's not many failures where you need a paper checklist.
Sweden 4650, descent 9,000 feet, QNH 1015.
9,000 feet, QNH 1015,
MCK, yeah, I agree on that. Yeah.
Wait, 7 Golf, contact tower 118.1, good
Good.
night.
So, regarding the briefings, so we already talked about the arrival, NISVA 4 Delta, the sectors we talked about, and transition onto the final runway is going to be ILS 09 Zulu approach. Minimum is
Bulgaria 879,
Baro
Sofia approach
1940,
radar contact, continue climb flight
and the
level
go around we
30.
briefed already. Although what we do normally is we check that here in the FMS, so that way we can follow the NAF mode. So it's going to be straight out 4,500. Then we turn right back to the VOR Sofia, and then 8,000 or above, and then we go to enter the holding there, and we climb 10,000 feet in the holding. But we can go straight up to 10,000 feet, right? We always have to cross those at or above. Extra fuel at the moment, we have about 30 minutes extra fuel.
Sofia approach hello, standby. Sweden 465.
Guidance, we'll use flight
expect
directors,
shortcut.
and flight setting is config full for landing. Config full is selected. Autobrake is low. We'll use reverse. Hotspots for taxiing, not really. I expect a taxiing, Echo, Hotel, and then either Kilo or Juliet, depending on where we are. East or west side of this terminal. And then we park here very lightly.
Istanbul 334, descent 11,000 feet, QNH 1015.
QNH 1015, descent 11,000 feet, Istanbul 334.
Sweden 4650, expedite fence 7,000 feet, level by
So, there's nothing special, and we have normal operations, so nothing non-standard. Threats? What threats do we have tonight? Full moon. Yeah, of course, terrain. We've talked about terrain as a threat. Runway is not really anything special there, is it? Missed approach. Yeah. So the only threat really I would see today is the terrain. Okay, 2,000 feet to go. I'm going to go vertical speed here. Transition level is 130. So let me enter that here as well. So once we go below 130, we'll go QNH. And right now it is still 1015, 21 degrees. Do you think the moon illumines the clouds too much? Maybe just a tad. Yeah, maybe. But I tell you what, a full moon like that will really light up the surrounding. I would say maybe more than anything else, the ground is lit up a bit too much in the full moon. The clouds, I would say, all right.
Wind Mill 897 is established,
Admiral 897, contact
yeah,
18.1.
yeah. So MCK, good point. I mean, if you feel fatigued, so you had a long day.
4650,
definitely. Now I'm gonna already slow down a bit. There's no point in screaming in there high speed. So I'm gonna go 250 on the speed initially. Outstart. And then once we are inbound Sierra Fox 410, it's going to be 410 knots anyway.
56 kilo, descend 10,000 feet, KNH 1015.
Send 10,000, KNH 1015, Austrian 56 kilo. So 10,000 it is. We'll do that with vertical speed out blue. And set QNH. QNH cross-checked, passing 12,840 now, checked. Approach checklist. We have Barrow Ref.
Bulgaria 879, contact Sofia control on
QNH 1015.
Bye-bye.
Seatbelts on. Minimum. Barrow 1940 feet. Auto brake low. And the engine mode selector is normal. Approach check is completed.
Sofia Radar, good evening, Shalom. Tarom 297, descent at level at 200, info Lima.
Tarom 297, Sofia approach low identified, continue.
Oh, good question. What are your personal most disliked departures and approaches?
Runway 09, descent flight level 130.
Most disliked departures are those that are really boring, so you don't have to see anything. Yeah, Aniki 1 Lima will be one of those where it's like straight out, there's not much to see. You have to fly slow. So yeah, I you know, approaches, again, if it's just straight in boring approach, not much, you know, scenery to look at. Yeah, lovely. So here's the airport, and
4650 report established.
The approach will take us straight over the city. Right, I can see someone here. So who knows? 410. Let's go speed 210. Yeah, see, the approach phase is activated now. It's interesting. No, it's not. Huh? When did that go to select to manage speed? I didn't press manage speed. That's weird. That is weird. It should not go automatically back to manage speed. Hey, Giant Dwarf. Yeah, I'm loving it. I've been to Sofia many times. I enjoy the night stops here in Sofia as well. Really nice. There's a lot of traffic there, so we are going to fly the arrival route there. Oh, actually, no. Hang on, where? Oh, they're inbound from the east. That's why.
Stand 56 kilo report indicated airspeed.
We are reducing 210, passing 250 right now.
Copy 210.
210, yeah. It didn't activate. Are you kidding me? Lol.
Traffic.
TCAS blue, out star. It's just slowing. Slow down.
Indicated airspeed.
There he is.
Roger, maintain 220 knots or greater.
Just gonna do some speed brakes here. Just want to slow down quicker. I don't know why it's really dragging down that much. So we're right at green dot 210. There he is. Martin, good evening. How are you doing? Nice. It's great to see the event being busy.
4650, contact tower 118.1.
It's great to see. Greek islands, yeah, I've done some of the Greek island approaches. I would love to do one in Santorini. Mykonos is definitely a challenge tonight because of the wind there. And I've been to Santorini. I've been to Rhodos. Back in the 737 days, I've been to Kos. We went to so long ago. I'm sure I went to some other Greek islands back in those days.
Istanbul 334, descent 7,000 feet.
So there's the traffic below us there. Do you use FS realistic? No, I don't.
20 Romeo, descent 9,000 feet.
Descent 9,000, Jordanian 20 Romeo.
In-flight refueling? No, we're fine on fuel. 3.4 tons. 2.3 is minimum, so we're fine. All good. What do I want? I wanted to have a look at the
Istanbul 334, past Sierra Foxtrot 407, descent 6,000 feet, direct Bengo, clear the LSL approach, runway 09 now.
So that's that. What else have I been asked lately?
Confirm descent 6,000 feet?
Yeah. Regarding the speed mode, now it's perfectly fine to use selected speed. You don't have to, you know, in the approach, you don't have to go manage speed all the time. You just have to understand the logic behind managed and selected speed. So, let's say you're flying 230 knots or 250, and then you go and see that
5-6 kilo, descent 8,000 feet.
Descent 8,000, Austrian 5-6 kilo. So vertical speed out blue 8,000. So let's say you overfly that deceleration waypoint, and the aircraft, the approach phase gets activated automatically. Then, of course, commanded speed becomes the approach speed. However, in managed speed, obviously, it won't go below the minimum speeds for your configuration. So green dot or S speed, etc.
Indicated.
But if you're under radar vectors and you don't have that pseudo waypoint anymore, or at least not at a sensible position, then go to selected speed and activate the approach phase manually. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, great. Istanbul 334, no speed restriction, report established.
Report established, Istanbul 334.
So he's been already been given base turn there.
Radar, Tarom, good evening, Tarom 123, fly with you to fly level 2.
Yeah, there he is.
Tarom 123.
So we're a bit unlucky. Bit unlucky for this.
5-6 kilo, past Sierra Foxtrot 405, direct Luxor, descent 7,000 feet.
We'll descend 7,000 and past the Sierra Fox 405, we'll go direct to Luxor. Thank you. So that's a nice shortcut there. Luxor, put that behind there. That worked nicely. There we go.
Jordanian 20 Romeo, descent 8,000 feet.
Down to 8, Jordanian 20.
Let's go flaps 1, speed is checked, flaps 1.
descent 10,000 feet, QNH 1015.
Let's help a little bit with the turn.
10,000 feet, QNH 1015, Tarom 297.
Tarom 1123, Sofia approach low identified. Cleared vehicle, Yama 4 Delta arrival, expect ILS approach runway 09 now. Descent flight level 130.
Yeah, so this mode, so here the FENIX, it ignores the terrain if it's not within the display range. So now you'll see as we descend down, here's that big large terrain. Now that starts coming into view.
Descent flight level 130.
So it does work, it's just an older system.
Sofia radar, I hear you 255.
Is there any precautions to take when the METAR reports blowing dust?
How did you copy now?
Well, it depends on the visibility. So, you know, sandstorm, for example,
I think 255.
could get an issue depending on visibility. You may need to have an engine check afterwards. But there's a clear definition on, you know, on visibility and the concentration of sand.
4 Charlie Kilo, thank you.
So dust, really blowing dust,
11,000 feet, QNH 1015.
could of course then mean a worsening visibility.
Lufthansa 334, contact tower 118.
Right, I tell you what, we'll do that again with direct looks of. Don't like how it flies this this direct.
And Lufthansa 4 Charlie Kilo, cleared via Nice 4 Delta arrival, expect
so we've got the ILS, India Sierra Lima identified, 089 inbound, looks good. 7,000 feet.
Say again?
So
affirmative, Nice 4 Delta.
We are at the MSA, that's fine.
Hold on.
Art Star.
Sofia Raiders Gun.
And the upcoast should try the new PMGL nav. It's better. Okay, yeah, we can try.
Lufthansa 2 Alpha Romeo.
Well, Andre, the problem is the FENIX is a mixture
Could new subscribers please
Sounds
make
like
your way to the
130,
first
Nisa 4
class
Delta
cabin?
is
of the older and newer aircraft. Hey, Alpha! Alpha, Dankeschön, just in time for the landing, exactly. 62 months on Twitch here. Wie geht's dir?
Sofia Radar, catch at 7 Mike Bravo, inbound Vienna, flight level 300, for flight level 200.
I love how we have full moon today.
Lima.
I can see that mountain.
Catch at 7
Quite
Mike
majestic there.
Bravo, Sofia Apollo identified, clears via Vienna 4 Delta arrival,
There we go, you can see that now on the terrain display.
Descent 130.
Descent flight level 130, Vienna 4 Delta arrival. And
So we're not cleared for the approach yet. Last thing we cleared was 7,000.
Austrian 56 kilo, descent 6,000 feet, cleared ILS Zulu runway 09.
Descend 6,000 and cleared the LS Zulu 09 Austrian 56 kilo.
Jordanian 20 Romeo.
Let me do that with thrust idle up, descent alt blue.
7,000 Jordanian 20 Romeo.
And that's what I thought. We're already on the glide slope, so let's do glide slope blue, lock blue. Here comes flaps 2. Superstar.
Lufthansa 3 Echo Echo. Sofia approach hello, standby. Tarom 297, descent 8,000 feet.
8,000 feet, Tarom 297.
So priority will only function in manual flight.
Lufthansa 3 Echo Echo, Sofia approach hello, identified.
So your disconnect button on the stick then becomes the priority button when you're in manual flight. Yeah, we call it Superstar. So glide slopes are localized. It's kind of a joke for us. Tower 18.1. So
Lufthansa 4 Charlie Kilo, turn left heading 260.
FMA bingo, yeah. So when you need to make sure, let's say you're gonna bounce landing, or you have a pull-up. Well, actually, pull-up you can do that not without priority. But let's say bounced landing, and me as the captain, I take over control. I would say bounced landing, I have control, and I would press the priority button. So if I go manual flight. It doesn't give the arrow, unfortunately, but you can hear the priority left.
Could new subscribers please make your way to the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks and premium
Hey! Oh, look us here! Ooh, Citation Max! That's really kind of you to come into my stream here. And resub. It is a tier 3 still, good lord, 58 months. Thank you much. Yeah, we're doing very well. Max, the same to you. I know you are very busy, and I love your YouTube videos.
Was that 56 kilo established?
Yeah, guys, if you do not know, Austrian 56 kilo FM.
Was that 56 kilo, contact tower 118.1, good night.
18.1, good night. Austrian 56 kilo. So, tower, good evening. Austrian 56 kilo is on the ILS Zulu 09.
Austrian 56 kilo, wind 140 forward. Expect late landing clearance, continue approach runway 09 with
Flaps 3, so check you down. We are reducing the approach speed, expecting late landing clearance, Austin 56 kilo, thank you. Flaps 4, speed check, flaps 4.
Holding short, runway 09.
Yeah, big shout out
Welcome
to
aboard the Captain Black Box Twitch channel subscriber experience.
to Citation Max, guys. If
Could
you
new
don't know him, make
subscribers
sure
please
check out
make
his
your way to
YouTube
the
channel
first
and his
class
Twitch channel.
cabin, where complimentary drinks,
Highly
snacks, and
recommended.
premium flight entertainment will be served. Thank you.
And I know you've been to Oshkosh, man. I really admire you for being able to go there. I was not able to do this. I'm working so much right now. Oh, I can imagine that. I can imagine that. Did you see, Max? Did you by any chance see Captain Joe or Ryan? Both of them have their YouTube channel as well. You did. Oh, fantastic. And Steve-O.
310.
I would love to have that. That would be fantastic. Right, guys, we're gonna go and synchronize the
Roger.
thrust levers. Press the disconnect button twice. Manual flight. Yeah, Captain Joe was running about. Oh, look at those lights. Look at that. Yeah, he was running about filming all the time for his YouTube channel, wasn't he?
Please, transition 120 and squawk 2473 and 7.
With airline 5.
Was he really in Birmingham?
We'll go to taxi air departure runway 09. Initial climb flight 240.
Yeah, I like these larger thrust levers. Feel really good. Love that.
Sofia Tower, Jordanian 20 Romeo, good evening. Established island
So,
09.
late landing clearance, he said. Late and landing checklist. ECMIM landing no blue, landing checklist completed. 1000 is checked, we're stable.
Expect late landing clearance.
Quick late landing clearance, minimum approach
Absolutely
speed.
not. Look at that.
And continue approach, Jordanian 20 Romeo. Just to confirm the approach, inform me that I have to maintain 180 until 60 me, and I'm now passing
Oh no, don't stop
90 me.
discussing! I need my landing clearance for crying out loud.
Jordanian 20 Romeo, please, with minimum approach with minimum approach speed.
Your minimum approach speed,
Oh.
Jordanian 20.
I can't hear anything now! Is that a landing clearance? I can't hear anything! Hello, Austrian 56 kilo, just confirm we're clear to land.
Clear to land, Austrian 56 kilo.
Thank you.
100 above.
Good God! Mark!
Behind the A320 Austrian, line up runway 0993.
Oh my God. Continue.
Line up runway 09er behind.
That is so loud.
310.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 5.
Oh, that was
Have
a
a good evening, Taron 297. ILS Zulu.
bit weak on the initial break there. Right, we've got spoilers. Reverse green diesel. Boof.
Confirm approach.
I blame it on Mark.
Now
that's how pros do
Continue approach runway 09 with minimum approach speed.
Continue.
I was used to the fly-by-wire pitch
297.
sensitivity.
297 minimum approach speed.
Right,
Minimum
my
approach
works.
speed,
Let's
around
hurry up
230, thank you.
vacating.
Sofia Tower, Istanbul 334 is requested
Excuse book. What do you mean? It's a valid excuse.
Istanbul 334,
There's a lot of traffic there.
Right of
Careful.
hotel, thank you, and Lima.
Can you see the clearance again, please?
Istanbul 334, taxi to stand 2, right on hotel, thank you, and Lima.
Yes, these are the flight sim factory.
310, wind 140.
He's just logged off, has he?
09 clear for takeoff when airborne contact. Sofia radar 12317 charge.
Busy airport. Blimey.
Clear to take off 09er and 1237.
Mark, aren't we going to do a shared flight at some point again? You know I have a good memory when it comes to that.
No,
Just saying. Not now. Yeah.
Mike Alpha, taxi to holding point at 09.
I'm just wondering if he's logged off.
Via November, Hotel and Brown.
It's a shame they don't have ground frequency here.
Taxiing to holding point, runway 09.
Yeah, so Max,
November,
hopefully
Juliet,
next
Hotel,
year I'll get my
Bravo.
transfer to 747.
Conor 9 Mike Alpha.
And then I would love to meet you.
After 56Q, welcome to Sofia, taxi to stand 2, right on hotel, then Juliet and Q.
Gate 2, Hotel Juliet, yeah, stand 2, Austrian 5, 6 kilo.
Hotel, then Q and Lima.
Hotel Kilo Lima, stand 2, Austrian 5, 6 kilo. Yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? Man, I would love to meet you IRL, yeah. So let's do the after landing flows. And then the after...
Air Jordania.
Wow, that's cool. After landing
Romeo,
checklist.
Go around for safety.
Oh!
Contact Sofia radar 13.7.
Action.
No need for go around. The traffic has left the runway.
Right,
LOL! Did you hear that? That is brilliant. That's VATSIM at its best. There's no need for go around. Are you kidding me? Brilliant. No need for go around. Just ignore the ATC instruction. Brilliant. I need to remember that. Next time I get called for go around, I'll say, no need for go around. I can see the runway. Blimey. What was that? Yeah, Lee, exactly. Just go offline. I mean...
Jordanian 20 Romeo runway vacated, and you have, sir, you have to inform the Qatari aircraft that he should do an immediate takeoff because I was like 1,000 feet above ground
And he
level.
complains about the other aircraft.
Short final, actually.
Sorry, Jordanian 20 Romeo. Taram 297, wind 140.
And he's blocking the frequency. Oh my god. Exactly. Get off the frequency for crying out loud.
Air Jordania 20 Romeo, taxi to stand 7, right on hotel, then Juliet and November.
His supervisor, yeah. Wow, I love it. How busy it is.
Juliet, stand 07 Jordanian 20 Romeo.
Oh yeah, exactly. Have a pen and paper ready. Copy the following phone number. Oh, brilliant. Right, so we are on Lima, Kilo now, and we're taxiing... Yeah, so Kilo now, Lima here, and stand 2 should be left of the Wizz Air. Yeah. Yeah, that's quite interesting regarding the reduced runway separation minimum. It actually caused some missed approaches in Frankfurt. So people were going around saying that they were too close to the aircraft that just had landed, but they were actually within the normal reduced runway separation minima. So they could have landed with the clearance. So here comes gate 2. Now, here's one of the things about the scenery which is absolutely terrible. And you see that dip. And I've not seen that anywhere else in any other add-on. And I'm sure that someone or some of the tester, they would have reported that. And that's such a shame because the rest of the airport is actually quite nice, but that is a real no-no. And I swear to God, that does not happen in the real airport like that. Oh my God.
Sofia, taxi, stand 9, right on hotel, then Juliet November.
Right.
And the 10 via hotel.
That were real airport, I would be really worried. So, APU is available. Let's get some dome lights on. Engine shutdown. Is Nightbot broken on YouTube? Well, I can only activate one side, so either Twitch or YouTube. And today I went with Twitch. So, and the fuel pumps. I remember the fuel pumps. How about that? How cool is
Sofia
that?
Tower, catch 7 Mike Bravo, fully established LS 09.
But that response was great. There's no need for go around. Lol. Parking checklist. Parking brake or chocks. Parking brake is set. Engines off. Wing lights off. And fuel pumps off. Parking check is completed. That's nice. D-board. Yeah, so here's the airport add-on. Again, it's not bad. I've been here so many times. So they got some nice. Wow, how much traffic they have today! Really nice. Let's show you the daytime. Man, I tell you what, if you did that in real life, so ATC tells you to go around, and you would say, nah, it's all fine, no need for go around, and you land, ooh, I would think you're gonna get into big trouble. Big trouble. Quite rightly so. Yeah, I mean, there would be an investigation. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if your license got suspended for a while.
Wizard 1513, initial climb for 240.
Copy. Initial level 240.
Wizard 1513, read back.
Hey, Green Dot Foxtrot. Right, we're doing another flight. We're going to go and stop this stream in a few minutes, and then we'll go and start another stream. And so the second flight, we're going to take off in Split, and we're going to go to Mykonos. And Mykonos should have quite a challenging weather and a nice challenging approach as well. Yeah, Alpha, I mean, still, you would get in big trouble for that. In wintertime, you can have really cold temperatures here and lots of snow. Also fog. I've had all kinds of weather conditions here. So it's a big city. You have a lovely park as well right downtown.
Being airborne, contact 123.7. Thank you.
Really nice.
Tower, good evening, Tower 123.
Love it.
5 miles out for runway 09.
Cool. Yeah, so again, if you are interested about these honeycomb Bravo thrust levers, so I've been recommended these by some viewers here on my last stream, and be aware that if you do want to order something from them, they have A320 hardware add-ons. They have 737, 747 levers, flap lever, speed brake lever. So here for the A320, I was actually really positively surprised by the quality. Now, obviously, I can't comment on durability because I've only used them now today for the first time.
Catch it 7 Mike Bravo.
But installation is pretty straightforward, and I really like the here the flap lever function for the thrust levers. The little notches there, they really kind of nice. So they're not too restrictive, but you can definitely feel when you have the right notch. And then again, the big thrust levers, again, the handles a lot more real-like, so really nice. Yeah. And they have a 3-week backlog at the moment. So if you order, you have to have some patience. He really stressed that to me when I talked to him yesterday. He said, you know, if people do think about ordering a set, they have a huge amount of backlog at the moment. Right. Cool. Big thank you again to Magnus for his 2 donations today. Big thank you. Big thank you to everyone that has resubscribed, either on YouTube or on Twitch. Thank you so much for the amazing support. So if you want to hang out some more, I'm doing another flight. So I'll be restarting a new stream in about 3 minutes. And we'll fly the FENIX A320 from Split down to Mykonos. My moderators, thank you so much for helping out. Hopefully see you in a couple of minutes. Take care, everyone.